Days passed slowly in the mansion. I worked from morning to night. I washed dishes, ironed clothes, and made tea for Mr. Gray. He always sat alone, reading papers or staring out the window. His silence filled every room. Sometimes I wanted to ask, "Are you okay, sir?" But I never did. I was just a maid. One evening while I was serving coffee, he suddenly asked, "How is your mother?" I looked up, surprised. "She is better now," I said. He nodded and said, "Good." That one word felt warm. For the first time, he looked like a man who wanted to talk, not a boss giving orders. After that day, he changed a little. Some mornings, he said good morning. Sometimes he left a note that said, "Thank you." I could see he was trying. I started feeling happy when he was kind. My mother said on the phone, "He sounds like a lonely man. Maybe he needs someone to remind him of life again." I smiled and said, "Maybe." One afternoon, I found him sitting in the living room, looking at that same photo again, the woman and the boy. He didn't notice me at first. Then, he said softly, "She was my wife. She and my son died in an accident." I froze. I didn't know what to say. He looked at me with tired eyes. After that, I stopped believing in peace. He whispered, my eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry, sir," I said. He just nodded and turned away. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about his words. A strong man full of money, still broken inside. It felt unfair. I promised myself I would try to bring a little light back to his life. Maybe he would smile again someday. The next week, he got very busy. Some men started coming to meet him late in the evening. They wore suits and spoke in low voices. I was told to leave early those days, but once I forgot my bag and came back, I heard one of them say, "Mark, you should not do this inside the house." Another man replied, "Relax, Ethan doesn't know a thing." I didn't understand what they meant, but I felt something wrong. When I saw Ethan later that night, his face looked tense. He said quietly, "Lena, if anyone comes asking about me, tell them I'm not here." Tyne. I nodded, my heart beating fast. Something was happening, and I didn't know what. A few days later, Ethan fell sick. He had a fever and couldn't go to work. I made soup for him and gave him medicine. He looked at me and said, "You don't have to do all this." I smiled and said, "Someone has to take care of you." For a moment, he said nothing. Then he said softly, "No one said that to me in years." Poof. I felt my throat close. "You should hear it more often," I replied. He smiled, just a small one, but it was the first real smile I had ever seen on his face. That moment stayed with me. I didn't want to tell anyone, but I was beginning to care for him more than I should.